This is Investment Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Daily live streaming interactive. Featuring Mrs. Backup. Subscribe, hit the notification, smash the likes. Now, here's Backup Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to Investment Perspectives, everybody. It is so good to be back and thank all of you. Before we get started, I want to ask each one of you to find the channel, and I will put the link to my other channel. I've started a second channel. So in case we ever run into a situation with YouTube again, because there's an article I'm going to show you where YouTubers covering crypto are being banned. And that really says it for me. So for whatever reason, YouTube's doing that to certain YouTubers. I fell into that category. So please go like and subscribe the Digital Ledger. That is my new channel, and I will continue to grow that channel. And this way, should we have something happen again on this channel with another strike for no reason, we'll be able to hit the ground running and carry the same amount of subs and get the information out to you so you don't miss a notification. Please go like the Digital Ledger, my new channel. I will put a link in the description under this video. Okay, so we are going to talk about the current situation on the Dow over the last several days, and then we are going to talk about what we're currently hearing in the current climate. You know, obviously there is a health situation going on. I call it a current event. I think that's the best way to handle it on here, just in case YouTube doesn't like the lingo or the verbiage. So you think you guys know what I'm referencing when I say that. And the situation now, the narrative that I'm seeing now is that the overbought markets, which have clearly been overbought, the traditional stock markets, are now being blamed for the downswing because of the current events. Well, I'm not saying that they don't have impact, and I certainly believe that the current event does have impact because there's many countries impacted by it. But what I am saying is that the market was overbought anyway. So a portion of this could be an element is true about it. And then another portion of this that's also true is to go along with the current events is that the market has been overbought for quite some time anyway. So we're due for a correction is the point, right? So I believe maybe some of this is a guise, and I'm not saying it's, not real. I think it's a very real situation. And I hope anybody affected by the current events are really healthy and getting better very quickly. And if you're displaced, back with your home or your family and loved ones. But I do believe there is something to be said about the fact that the markets were in a terrible situation. Cryptopolis and I have been covering this since last year. The repo market with a terrible gap, and the fact that, it wasn't going to be long. We were going to see it start to drift further into the economy and rear its ugly head. Well, in the last several trading sessions, you can see here, the Dow brings big swings. Look at this. Look at how much red we've had there since February 27th. Just going back to that, right? 1,000 points down, 300 points down, 1,200 up, and then 700 down, 1,100 up, 900 down, 257, 2,000 points down, 1,000 up. And it looks this morning like the futures were down the last time I looked this morning before the open. We're about 15 minutes before the open this morning. So it's going to be tough to tell which way we go, but things are pointing down again. Now, it doesn't mean it'll happen, but we certainly want to pay attention to it. Why? We cover crypto. Well, because we have talked about this ad nauseum to the fact that the digital asset class that's being introduced into the traditional commodities market is going to have a convergence at some point, an intersection where they meet with the traditional markets. Why are these things happening in the traditional markets? Because of a shortage of liquidity. They can't find the cash that they need. So you see these pockets and drops that are happening where large companies and corporations, institutions are doing huge sell-offs. Or they're just simply not placing buy orders because they need to cash in other areas. Here we see an article here, the Fed can't let the bond yields fall to zero. Well, I'll say. The bond market is what props up the entire house. It's the foundation of the house. If you lose faith in the bond market, the entire system comes down. These are very, very serious conversations and implications that we're hearing them discuss now, right? Let me scroll through here a little more because there's a couple other things I wanted to show you too. Here's the current numbers here. Let me just move this to where we want to see it here. There's your current numbers up as to March 10th of all the countries except China. You can just take a look at it. I won't say it, but that's the current events. Now, there was another thing I wanted to show here really quickly. 1 second. I'll find it here. Goldman Sachs from MarketWatch analyzed bear markets back to 1835. That goes into the good and bad of that, right? Well, there's a lot of bad. Let's go here because I'm just touching on these things, right? Hester Peirce says the SEC is a partner to crypto as U.S. states chase the regulations. Now, this is really just pointing to the fact of the headwinds are changing. Hester Peirce has always been a champion for digital assets in the crypto space, so that part is not new. But the fact that she's getting more traction with the narrative of the SEC as a whole in this direction, that the regulators are chasing the actual market to catch up to things, I think is completely accurate. Here's one from Cryptopolis that reminds us of the current events and what they're dealing with. And again, the current events being the health situation that everyone's dealing with. And then on top of that, the fact that the global market, all the global markets, all the countries are in need of something. Liquidity. Liquidity is a global crisis. It is not isolated to one or two countries. This is not a problem just for Europe. This is not a problem just for the United States. And this is how you get the kind of organization and the compliance, I guess, if you will, or collective orchestration where they're all working together through the G20 and the international bodies that exist, the FATF, the International Digital Governance Consortium that's been created from the World Economic Forum and the G20. These entities like this have come together because they know that they are reaching an unavoidable moment. And that moment, I feel like, is upon us. And it's a threshold. I want to remind everybody that Hong Kong just introduced stimulus to their citizens. They're discussing doing that here in the United States because of the current events. Now, this is regular playbook by the Fed. When you hear them talk about quantitative easing and printing more money, adding more to the balance sheet of the Fed, these are regular playbook Band-Aid moments. These are things that they normally do, right? Stimulus is something that happened back when Bush number 2 was president and they cut everybody a stimulus check. I remember getting one. To try to stimulate the economy. These are failing moves that do not solve problems. If you had indigestion and you took something for it, a pill for it, did you cure your indigestion or did you cover up a symptom? The reality is if you want to stop having indigestion, you'd have to stop eating the food that caused it. Right? That's where we're at here. I hope the analogy isn't lost on anybody. XRP 1000 Bones, shout out to him. Ripple partner and global remittance player TerraPay has just been acquired for an undisclosed amount of money. The company also raised $9.6 million from Prime Ventures, IFC, Partech Africa for global expansion as a part of the acquisition deal. Yeah, shout out to XRP Bones. And this is from Michael Val5 Links. Follow him on Twitter. After several days of plunging markets, the U.S. Federal Reserve added $150 $68 billion into the economy, a total higher than all money currently invested in Bitcoin. Now, whether the Fed claims they can constantly print money or not, these measures are unsustainable. That much we know. Shout out to I Am Legion, #1 on RippleNet. SBI, come on in. Yeah, we're waiting for SBI to raise up out of the bush and just take over like a lion. Cannot wait for it. Let's see. U.S. Treasury is considering delaying tax payments beyond April 15th deadline as taxpayers and the Internal Revenue Service brace for economic disruption from the spread of the current event. You know, it's at this point, you have to start saying, when will we see this effect, this recession, by the way, that is really unfolding quite rapidly? Unfortunately, when will we see this find our doorstep? Because believe you me, it runs downhill, and most of us live in the valley. If you should find yourself losing your job or anything like that, or in threat of losing your job because of the situation, the current events, you need to start making a plan now, right? You need to analyze and assess what you do for a living, whether you yourself will be allowed to work from home if that continues to be a trend, right? I know a lot of the universities in our surrounding area have extended spring break. Well, not extended it, but after spring break, there's a 2-week period that's been put in place that the students will work via video or telecall, one or the other. We got to keep an eye on what's going on here. All right, so then we have, finally, just to make a point here, YouTube continues crypto ban. And I believe I fell victim to this. This is unbelievable. This is really unbelievable. But you know what? It's where we are at this point. I want to thank each and every one of you for your support. That's going to do it for me today. I just wanted to make this video and touch on the things that are rearing their ugly head today and head on a swivel. We're going to see what happens to the traditional markets. The theme today is liquidity. Where is it? And how long will they go with the normal playbook before we will see them reach out to a new digital asset for a source of liquidity, and that quite possibly being XRP? Obviously, a lot of people say, well, they don't have the liquidity for that. Well, think about government intervention. It's what we're watching happen right now. So don't think that it can't happen with the introduction and the emergency use of a financial market unit, right? Or utility, a financial market utility, which is exactly what we see here on the U.S. Treasury page. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope that catches you up this morning. Don't forget to tune in to the new showtime. We will be live today on the original channel, Investment Perspectives, at 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Friday mornings at 10 a.m. with Cryptopolis, co-host. It is a don't miss show every Friday. I always look forward to that. And I have the new channel. Please go like and subscribe. The Digital Ledger. Let's keep that going. Let's get that sub count up just like this one. And let's make sure if we run into trouble again from a YouTube crypto ban, we will be able to make the adjustment without missing a beat. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will catch you on the next one.